Hello, my dear friends. How are you all? I hope you all are good and fantastic. So, you are very welcome in our lecture number one, real number. So, without wasting the time, let's start. So, friends, today we will discuss very important topic, real number, which will help you in the next classes. Okay. So, now, first of all, we have to know what is real number. In this chapter, we are going to discuss real number. Okay. So, let's start. Yes. So basically, the main definition of the real number is that, okay, so
So real numbers are simply the combination of rational numbers and irrational numbers in the number system. In the number system. Okay. So basically we can write here as real number, real number are simply the combination of rational number and irrational number and irrational numbers. Okay, so what is rational and what is irrational numbers we will discuss later. Okay, so basically you have to know what is real numbers. So simply real numbers are the combination of the rational numbers and the irrational numbers. In general, all the arithmetic operation can be performed on the numbers. Okay, and they can be represented in the number line. Okay, they can be represented in the number line. Also, my dear friends, at the same time, the imaginary numbers are also are the unreal numbers which cannot be expressed on the number line. Okay, and is commonly used to represent the complex numbers. So those numbers which can be represented on the number line are the real numbers. Those numbers which cannot be represented on the number line are called the imaginary numbers. Are called the imaginary number. Now let's see some examples of real numbers. Okay, yeah, so this will be 23 is the real number, minus 12 is the real number, 6.99 is the real number, 5 upon 2 is also the real number, pi is also the real numbers, and so on. There is a lot of examples. Okay, so my dear friends, I hope you understand these things, what is real numbers. Okay.
yes, Venn diagram of the real number. Okay, so now through the Venn diagram, we can understand all these things like let's see, this whole complete box is a real number. Okay, all the numbers are exist in this box. Okay, now first of all, like this is a natural number. Okay, now natural number comes under the whole number. Okay, now whole number comes under the integer. Okay, now integers are the subset of rational numbers. Okay, so rational numbers are the subsets of real numbers, and irrational numbers are also the subsets of, yes, are also the subsets of real number. Okay, I hope you got this point. Okay, now we will see step by step all these numbers in briefly. Okay, so don't worry. Yes, yes. Now we are talking about natural numbers. Okay, what is natural number? Yes. So in previous classes, you already learned about the natural numbers. What is natural numbers? What is whole numbers? Now here we just only the revision. We just do only the revisions of these numbers. Okay. So now what is natural numbers? A number is a set of is a set of numbers in which like this is a set in which which is start from 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on till infinity. So all the numbers from 1 to infinity are called natural numbers. Okay. Now, if we if we talk about whole numbers, what is whole numbers? Whole numbers are the subsets. Whole numbers are the subsets of numbers which is starting from zero, which is starting from zero. Yes, exactly. And one and two and three and so on till infinity. So I hope you got this point. Now that's why we call the natural number is a subset of whole numbers. In that case, we can say all the natural numbers. We can say okay. We can say all the natural numbers is equals to whole numbers. Okay, all the natural numbers we can call the whole numbers, but all whole numbers we cannot say the natural numbers. I hope you got this point. All the natural numbers are called whole numbers, but all whole numbers are not equals to natural number because zero is not a natural number. Okay, yeah, we can say one is a natural number, but zero is not a natural number. I hope you got this point. Okay, so now let's go on. Yes, integers. Okay, what is integers? So all the positive numbers and negative numbers in the form of whole numbers. Whole numbers in the sense, yes, in the sense what round figure number means 1, 2, 3, -1, -2, -3. That is okay. So all the whole numbers. Yes, now we are drawing the number line like this. Okay, so now 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on till infinity. Same -1, -2, -3, and so on till minus infinity. Okay, so all these numbers are called integers. Okay, now integers are also divided into three parts. What parts? Yes, like this is our positive integers. This is our positive integers. Positive integers. Okay, and this is our negative integers. Okay, and this is zero integers. This is zero integers. Okay, so positive integers, negative integers, and zero integers. I hope you got this point.
So now, what is prime number? So my dear friends, all these natural numbers that have only one and itself as a factor, means the number which cannot be divided by any of the number except except one and itself. Okay, so these numbers are called prime numbers. For example, 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, 17, and so on. Okay, so these numbers are called, yes, these numbers are prime numbers. Okay, I hope my dear friend you understand these things. Now 2 is the least prime number. 2 is what? 2 is the least prime number. Okay, now let's move on. Yes, twin prime number. So what is twin prime numbers? So my dear friends, the term twin primes is used for a pair of odd prime numbers. That differs by 2. For example, if you talk about 3 and 5. So they are what? They are twin prime numbers. They are what? twin prime numbers. Okay, so the difference between these two numbers is 2. Okay, I hope you get this point. So now let's come on the co-prime number. What is co-prime number? So my dear friend, if the HCF of between two numbers is 1, then we can say that these numbers are co-prime numbers. Okay, and we can also say that any two consecutive numbers are what? Co-prime number. Okay, if we take like 5 and 6, they are consecutive numbers. So the HCF between 5 and 6 is 1, then we can say that these numbers are co-prime numbers. Okay, now, and the pair of prime numbers, okay, the pair of prime numbers, any two prime numbers are called co-prime numbers because the HCF of between two prime numbers is always 1, like 3 and 5. They are what? They are co-prime number because HCF is what? HCF between 3 and 5 is 1. Okay, I hope my dear friend you understand these things. So now let's move on. Yes, so there are some important note. Okay, so first note is that 1 is neither prime nor composite number. 1 is neither prime nor composite number. What is composite number? We will see later. And the second note is 2 is the only prime number, only prime number which is what? Which is even. Okay, so my dear friends, 2 is the only prime number which is even. If you see in this, here is 2 is what? 2 is the even, and all these prime numbers are what? Are odd. So all these prime numbers are odd except 2. Okay, so 2 is what? Yes, 2 is even and all these prime numbers are odd. Okay, my dear friend, I hope you get this point. So now composite number. What is composite number? So my dear friends, we know that all the natural numbers that have more than two different factors, are called composite number. The word which is composite means the numbers which is composed by the two or more than numbers. Okay, for example 4. 4 is made up of 2 into 2. So this is what? Composite numbers. Okay, I hope you get this point. Now if you talk about 6, 6 is what? 6 is made by 2 into 3. Okay, so it is made up of two different numbers. So this is called, yes, composite numbers. I hope my dear friends you understand these things. Now what is perfect number? So now my dear friends, perfect number is that number if the sum of all factors of a number, is equal to this number. Like for example, we have 6. The factors of 6 is 1, 2 and 3. Okay, if we are doing the sum of these factors, we get 6. So they are what? They are perfect number. So that type of numbers are perfect numbers. Okay, if we do the sum of 1 plus 2 plus 3, which is equals to 6. Okay, I hope you get this point. So let's take another example like 28. Okay, so 28 can also be divided by 1. 28 can also be divided by 2. Okay, it can also be divided by 4. It can also be divided by 7. Okay, and it is also divided by 14. Okay, so if we sum of these numbers, sum of these factors, we get what? We get 1 plus 2 plus 4 plus 7 plus 14. Okay, so we get, my dear friends, 28. What? Yes, 28. So my dear friends, these type of number are called perfect numbers. Okay, I hope you get this point. So now let's come on the imaginary numbers. So what is imaginary number? So all the numbers whose square root is negative are called imaginary number. For example, under root of -1. We can say that this is what? This is imaginary number. And if we say that under root of -2, this is also called the imaginary number. So the square root of any of the negative numbers is what? Imaginary numbers. Is what? Imaginary numbers. Okay. Now complex number. What is complex number? So my dear friends, the combined form of real and imaginary number is known as complex number. So complex number is what? Complex number is equals to real number plus imaginary number. Imaginary number is called complex number. Okay, and complex number is denoted by Z. Complex number is denoted by Z, and real number. So the example of this number is A plus iota B. Okay, now in this part, iota is what? Is the imaginary part, and the value of iota is under root of -1. I hope, my dear friends, you understand these things. So this is what? This is our complex number. Okay, you will study deeply in the higher classes. I hope, my dear friends, you understand these things. So now let's move on. So now, my dear friends, let's talk about the fraction. So what is fraction? So we know very well that the number which is in the form of numerator upon denominator. Like, let's suppose we have a number 2 upon 5. So we can say that this is what? This is a fraction. This is a fraction. Okay, my dear friends, I hope you get this point. So the upper part is called, upper part is numerator, and lower part is called denominator. Okay, I hope you get this point. So what is fraction? So the number which is in the form of numerator upon denominator, so we can say that it is called fraction. Okay, I hope you get this point. So now, my dear friends, we are going to discuss types of fraction. So the first part is common fraction. Okay, now what is common fraction? So the common fraction are those fractions which are in the form of numerator upon denominator, which are in the form of numerator upon denominator, but the numerator and denominator should be integers. Should be what? Integer. Like 1 upon 2, 3 upon 4. So these are what? These are common fractions. So now if we take 1.2 upon 4, can we say that this is common fraction or not? No, because this is not an integer. This is what? This is decimal part. So we can say that 1.2 upon 4 is not a common fraction. So I hope you understand what is common fraction. So now, so second part is decimal fraction. Now what is decimal fraction? So decimal fraction are those fractions whose denominator is 10 or any power of 10. Whose denominator is 10 or any power of 10. So if we take the example of decimal fraction like 1 upon 10, 3 upon 100. Okay, they are what? They are decimal fraction. Okay, I hope you understand these things. What is decimal fraction? Okay, so now let's move on. Yes, third part is proper fraction. Proper fraction. Now what is proper fraction? So proper fraction are those fraction in which numerator is less than denominator. In proper fraction, numerator is what? Numerator is less than denominator. For example, 2 upon 7. Upper part is what? Upper part, we know that this is upper part, which is numerator, and this is what? This is denominator. Okay, now my dear friends, in this case 2 is less than 7, means numerator is less than denominator. So this is what? This is a proper fraction. Okay, I hope you get this point. Now if we talk about D part, which is improper fraction. Improper fraction. Now what is improper fraction? So my dear friends, improper fraction are those fraction in which numerator is greater than denominator. For example, 7 upon 2. In this case, 7 is greater than 2. So this is what? This is a improper fraction. I hope you understand what is proper fraction and what is improper fraction. So my dear friends, I hope you understand these things. Now, next part is mixed fraction. Mixed fraction. Now what is mixed fraction? So my dear friends, mixed fraction consists of integral as well as fraction part. Like if we take the example, let's suppose we have 5 2 upon 9. This is what? This is a mixed fraction. Now we can convert it into the simple common fractions. How we can convert it? Now in this case, first of all we have to multiply 9 into 5. What? 9 into 5. So we get 45. Now after that, getting 45, and we have to add with the, yes, numerator. So we get 45 plus 2 what? Yes, 47. So we get 47 upon 9. Okay, so this is a mixed fraction. Okay, I hope you understand this. What is mixed fraction? So now let's move on.
What is rational and what is irrational number, which can be expressed in the form of P upon Q. Okay, yeah. A rational number is a number which can be expressed in the form of P upon Q, where P and Q are integers. Means P and Q are where P and Q are integers. Okay, and Q is not equals to 0. Okay, Q is not equals to 0. For example, if you talk about the examples are 1 upon 2. Okay, this is a form of P upon Q, and minus 3 upon, yes, 2. This is also called a rational number. Now what is irrational number? Okay, so a number is called irrational if it cannot be written in the form of P upon Q. It cannot be written in the form of P upon Q. Okay, yes. So here is also Q is not equals to 0. Okay, so now friends, here we will finish our lecture. Okay, we will meet in our next lecture. So friends, thank you very much for listening me.